hey guys. I don't know. Like, you never really know how to start these things. Like, what is, like, I remember one time I sat down and I tried to record a YouTube video, and like the actual act of recording it was fine. The idea to create and say an intro seems so corny. Hello, guys. Hey, guys.
Yeah.
Welcome to episode 77.
I was going to say, for a couple episodes, I think we've just unconsciously stolen the fantasy footballers, the welcome in. I don't know. I stole it, I guess, apparently.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing, too. It's hard to not steal somebody else's intro because you're so used to hearing it.
Yeah, if you listen to it, like, I mean, with them putting out like a pod a day too, it's...
I mean, the moment that we start going, oh, come in, that's when, you know, we're fully biting.
Yeah, and I mean, if you guys can't tell, we're obviously in much higher spirits than some of the last episodes when there's obviously a much more serious tone coming off what was the longest losing streak, I believe, in history of the club. And then also not only that, but losing by 3 in each game has also never happened. So, you know, some would say the worst 3-game stretch in club history.
I mean, yeah.
Based on statistics, purely.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, when you look at a lot of those games, I mean, from a perspective like ours and a lot of people, there were good moments in all of those games. Obviously, we had the Chanot banger, and we had even the first half of that whole Charlotte game. We were dominating that game, and then, you know, there were moments in the 2 prior too where it wasn't all bad to the point where it's like, you know, we through the seriousness of our last 3 episodes, it was always laced with if we're in the playoffs, we're good, and that was our overarching message. Right.
And I also think I believe this episode's a twofer after the midweek game too. Mm-hmm. So we haven't even shared our thoughts on the midweek game. But I mean, just in general, kind of glossing over that 3-game stretch that was, I mean, it's terrible to go through. Not saying that we're completely out of the woods. I mean, it was a Chicago team that really kind of rolled over and didn't really offer much for majority of the game. So I'm not saying we're out of the woods or we're back or anything like that. I'm not going to be that guy. The same way I wasn't going to be the guy that was like, we're dead and we're done and all of our guys are toasted and, you know, certain players can't score and they lost their touch. I wasn't going to be that guy either. It's just, it is what it is. It's a season and there's going to be ups and downs. I think that's basically the best way I can put it.
Yeah, and I actually didn't even realize that we haven't talked about Charlotte, so maybe we can do a little bit about that. Obviously, to me, the takeaway was we're about to drive 12 hours to see that same matchup, except in their home, which arguably is way better for them. So that was really my thing. I was like already prepping for like a month from now, just being tired, exhausted, really, and just like going to see an L. I don't feel that bad anymore after, you know, this game that just happened, and I think there's a ton of reasons to. I think I tweeted it out, like, everybody basically tonight did well.
Yeah, there was nobody that you could look at and be like, that guy let us down today, or if that guy had done more, we would have scored more goals. I think Hebert, when he came on, he really didn't show that much in that chance. I wish he would. Like, it showed his age that he wasn't able to make separation, at least get a better chance. But that's just nitpicking towards the end, to be honest. Yeah,
after I sent the tweet, the one thing I thought of was I should have maybe said all the starters, because the only guy that did come to mind was Hebert.
Yeah.
And like you said with that chance, you know, it doesn't help when some of these younger guys start to heat up. And they did. I mean, GP doing his best Chanot impression, to rip that weak foot from way outside of the box. That was great.
It was entertaining. It got me, because up to that point I was kind of watching the game with my eyes closed almost, in the sense of like, I really don't want to sit here and watch another L. Like, I don't want to see another performance like that. And then that goal just kind of brought the juice, and there was just a feeling with that goal that I just thought, okay, we're actually going to go on and do this thing. Yeah,
I mean, they had a few chances early where, you know, if it had gone the right way for them and they went up 1-0, I could have seen the boys and obviously the fan base falling into a complete doomsday. I don't know though, because when I think Ian said it on the broadcast too, is there was a different feeling with this game where I mean, hindsight, it'll back up whatever you want it to, but I felt like we were gonna do something just for no reason. I mean, there was nothing really to make us think that we should, but they felt up to it. I mean, maybe it came from some of the leadership that we saw from Sean in that press conference, and I think he even, I'm not saying he saw anything that we've ever talked about, but he spoke to people that share the same mindset as us. Is, we went through something last season. That means we can do it this season. Yeah. And Sean basically came out and just dunked on us. Yeah,
which is funny because as I was watching, I had the same exact idea. Yeah. I was like, when can I remember that like players and Ian Joy and I keep forgetting his name.
Oh, Joe.
Joe, yeah. Sorry. I keep wanting to call him Michael for some reason because of all the other Michaels. Yeah. Even them, like having them talk about points that we've brought up before, I was like, I can't remember ever seeing or hearing that. I'm not saying it's directly us. It could have been. There's a bunch of people. Yeah, there's a bunch of different people, echoing the same thing. But, I was like, I've never experienced where someone like directly is talking about what we've been talking about. Mm-hmm. And there's a weird moment where I was like, dude, I kind of got to check what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to be that guy.
But I think he addressed it in the perfect way, because he addressed the fact that he did not believe in the fact that was true. And I think in a way he lit a fire under the guys. And I'm sure that was a small segment of what he's preached to them endlessly, like every day in the locker room, every day in the training field. And that's the type of thing that Sean, I think, needs all the credit in the world for, because as a captain, we've always talked about him and how there's other options that we think also make sense, but to see him do that and then for it to come through on the field too, it's like, thank God we have a Sean back there. And I think his leadership, whether he's doing more now because he feels that we need it, or it's in our blinders, so like we're paying more attention to it, but like his leadership shined through today on the field.
But I would almost argue it had to. Like, it was to a point where we were, not we, I would say other parts of the community were going heavily at our attackers and our midfield and saying that they were not good enough, they were not creating or finishing the chances and stuff like that. It was very, very much, attack the attackers on Twitter and in these spaces and everything like that, where I was personally sitting there thinking, okay, this is 100% on the defense. The defense is giving up too many chances and conceding on those chances, and if we just organize that defense, make less mistakes, we're going to start winning games. We're going to be putting the ball in the back of the net. It's deflating when you concede.
Yeah.
So I was kind of putting it on, hey, Sean, like, you need to get that defense back together. You're not only the captain, but you're the leader of that defense. You're the one, calling the shots back there.
Yep.
Especially when you have Collins kind of out and, different defensive lines. Like, you are really the guy back there that should be, organizing this thing, and it's not organized. And so seeing that today and seeing, less defensive mistakes, not conceding, a clean sheet to kind of get the morale back, I thought it was perfect. It was absolutely necessary, but it was great to see.
Yeah, I think I just thought of this, but it's even more impressive. We did this without an Alfredo, without a Maxi. These have been without a Keaton.
We've forgotten too. We've not had Keaton for how long?
A long time.
And how important that is to our team. Mm-hmm. And people have kind of glossed over it.
Yeah.
The same way that the national team glosses over him as a human being.
Yeah.
And dude, that's hugely important.
I feel people kind of write off how like detrimental that is because we were able to do it without him last year. So it's like we're kind of the same baseline
did
right now.
For him though,
yeah,
there was like an idea of we're fighting for Keaton and we're fighting for Tinnerholm.
Oh, my favorite thing. Have you seen the pictures in the locker room? Like every game, they have Keaton's jersey, and then I don't know what word is on. I think they might rotate. Like they might have a few custom ones, but it has like some kind of word on it, like grit, hard work. So it's like Keaton 55, hard work, like each game,
they
bring it around with them, like in the away locker rooms. It's always in like every locker room picture, and it's like that's the type of thing you really have to do. And I'm sure maybe it's something that they did last season and we just didn't pick up on it, but it always seems like in sports when you have something
to fight for
bigger than just your team that you're fighting for, and we just lost the light here. The guys, it's bigger than soccer sometimes, so that shines through when you're playing.
Yeah, unironically shines through.
It might be Dunzo.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
that ring light's made it through like a year and a half of constantly being on. So,
T's and P's.
T's and P's to that. But yeah, I mean, I think, and then also before this game, obviously we go and sign Pellegrini through waivers. That's massive. I think for anybody who was before, upset with our attacking options and what they were putting out, I think that would 100% make you happy. If it doesn't, I don't know what will.
Mm-hmm. I don't. And this kid's 21, which just generally, I haven't seen much talk about, what this could mean to the team and things like that on Twitter. But Ian today, I think, said something super important. It's like bringing in a kid, that's young like that, 21, like the rest of the guys, that's in an attacking position, that lights a fire under the rest of them.
Oh, for sure.
Like, if it wasn't enough that we bring in somebody as talented as GP to light a fire under a Thiago and a Tales, now we have a second guy, and that, in a way, says, like, we're not sold on any of you being the guy right now.
Right.
And, like, so we're going to bring this dude in and give him a chance, and, like, he might uproot your position in the squad.
He may be the new Totti. Like, he could be whatever he wants to be if he takes the opportunities.
Argentinian.
Just saying. Like, there's a lot of opportunities there.
And we're going to have to keep an eye on this, but apparently his number previously was number 11. So I'm very, very interested to see.
That'd be weird to see mid-season.
Yeah.
I would want him to take like a 42 or something, just to start and do the Santi where you perform and then.
But would somebody even say anything to him or not allow that to happen?
Mid-season, you can't. I don't know. Like, that's just weird to me. You can't. You got to take a 42.
Yeah. I was just going to say number 11 and Argentinian. He could be something. Somebody tweeted that meme. He's like, I'm once again asking you to turn an Argentinian winger into a number 9.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I don't know if it was either, because it kind of looked like they were almost interchanging up there with Thiago and Tales today. They were kind of just, whoever was in that position was taking that spot. It seemed to me that, I could be completely wrong. I've seen things horribly wrong before.
Yeah.
But it didn't really seem like either of them were playing distinctively the number 9. Mm-hmm. It kind of seemed almost like, interchanging parts. I don't know how you saw it.
Yeah, no, I wonder if that, I would assume that's probably instruction that they've gotten, and I wonder if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
It depends, because I know Tales wants to be the number 9, like 100%, a true number 9. That's his desire, but, if you can get away with kind of fooling the defense and creating chances based on, 1 minute you have Thiago, who you have to account for pace, and the next you have Tales, who you have to account for everything all at once.
Yeah.
That kind of messes with the defender's head. So maybe that was an instruction from Nick Cushing. I have no idea, but I think it worked. I think I want to see that again. I wouldn't go with Hebert. Not to hate on him, but I just think, he needs the fire under him, and if that's going to be Tales coming in and taking his spot, then that's what it is.
Yeah, and I think he maintains a little bit more of like a leadership role in the team as opposed to like an everyday starting 11 kind of guy, especially considering who we have. And that's really what makes Sean's leadership even more impressive is we didn't have those guys in each part of the field that function as a leader. Typically we would have it'd be Hebert in Tati's absence or Tati up top. We'd have Maxi to sort of manage the midfield, and Sean always, almost everybody in our defense is a leader, whether it's Tinnerholm or Collins or Chanot or Sean. But, we didn't have that, and obviously I think we kind of paid for it a little bit because Santi obviously got that stupid yellow again, and he's going to be out of the next game for it. So the midfield gets thinner, which you can't imagine happening.
Are you angry with having to see more GP?
No, absolutely
angry
not.
With Maxi back in his position? I don't know. I'm not angry at it.
And maybe Santi needs a game off to, I don't know. Like, I hope we do well without him, and that might ignite a further fire underneath him to be like, they did good without me in the squad. Like, what does that show Cushing?
Right. But I also think, I don't know, the reaction to Santi specifically in the last game where obviously, I mean, we lost to Charlotte. That's not, and nobody wants to do that. Mm-hmm. But there were a few of his shots and chances and the free kick and things like that were so close to going in. Had they gone in, he would have had an amazing game.
And then the game before off the post and stuff.
Right. So, like, I feel like he was just unlucky, and then other people saw that as, like, dude, he's terrible. And I'm like,
although in this game it built up to a goal and an assist. And I believe somebody could call me out if I'm wrong, but I believe he's tied for first or second in goals and assists combined in the league. Which, when I saw that, I mean, obviously out of the two of us, I'm less in on Santi than you, and I've been vocal about it on the episode for sure.
I would say that I've told you before, Santi's your new Medina.
Yeah, but he is, I mean, if
producing way higher.
If there's truth behind that, or even if he's third in the league on that, I mean, that's insane. And who knows how many, because I know he's higher in assists than goals, who knows how many of those assists were a product of Tati, burying them. But I mean, goal and assist today, he's still doing it. Right. So yeah, I mean, that surprised me. I guess maybe I need to give him a little more credit than I typically do.
Yeah, and I just think that we finally finished our chances today. Mm-hmm. We defended well. We stayed together. Nick Cushing even was off the bench and getting a yellow. I think this is exactly the way that we want this team to be performing. If that continues, I see us going on a deep run. Mm-hmm. And winning more games leading up to the playoffs, and not just being a one-round Nancy.
Yeah, and when it comes to all the teams I much prefer the underdog mentality. It's way harder to go in every game as expected to be the team to win, because no matter what, like, you don't really get the credit if you win. Like, you're supposed to do that, and if you lose, you really screwed it up. So either way, you're kind of screwed. So I guess, breed some underdog mentality there. We have Orlando coming up this weekend. Like we said, no Santi.
Almost no Acevedo.
Yeah. I mean, and him and Hack in that deep-lying midfielder role, both of them, I mean, I feel like sometimes we forget that Acevedo is as young as he is because he's carved out a role in our team. Right. For so long. I mean, for like 2 years, he's demanded a starting spot. And, he's so good, it's been, if we don't have a CDM spot for you, we're going to find a center back spot for it. If we don't have that, we're going to find you a right back spot. And, that's a kid that's been doing his thing for a little while.
Right. And even seeing Justin Hack going from, dominating Hartford Athletic games in the midfield and really establishing a presence there, and then bringing it over to the NYCFC 2 team and showing what he has there, and then getting the chance in the first team and actually taking it. Yeah. And mistakes here and there, but he's so young, and these are his first opportunities. Like, of course it's going to happen. I thought he was amazing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got it done with him. So, I mean, that will only build on his confidence and everybody else's. So, Orlando on the weekend, it'll be a tough game. They obviously, regardless of where the two of us, Orlando and New York, are on the table, every time we play, it's like we might as well be at the same level.
The same exact, yeah.
So, hope for the best there. Obviously, another away game in this little stretch of away games. So, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. And I could see anything happening there, so I won't even call it. But we're hoping for 3 points, at least get out of there with a point, and go on to the next week, bigger and better things.
Yeah, I'm glad there's no midweek because, I mean, it was getting to be a lot for those boys, I think.
Yeah, and mentally, even for us to keep up with it, it's like, give us a break a little bit.
Yeah, well, I mean, when it's 3 losses in a row, it does start to really chip away at your mental. Getting up for work on Monday is not as
or on Thursday.
Yeah. So that's it. That's the episode.
So if you Yes, yeah. I mean, see you guys later, I guess. No, if you guys have made it this far, do the normal. Follow us on Twitter if you haven't already.
Potentially, I was going to say big, different studio news coming up. Who knows? Not setting any expectations.
I would just say, if you're a fan of us, like a true, real fan of us, or you're a friend of us in the community, or anything like that, just keep your fingers crossed for us, and hopefully we'll make it through this process on top.
That's part of why I wanted to record it today, because there's too many emotional things that could happen tomorrow that could take away from the episode if we record after the fact. So I didn't want to ruin any good vibes, coming away from this 2-0 win.
And not to waffle, I know the editor's gonna hate me, I'm sorry. Slap my wrist next week. But there's a meme where it's like, a guy's sitting there with his girlfriend and she's watching like a true crime show, and it's like his legs were cut off, his arms were cut off. I just picture that.
Don't know that meme.
No. Someone out there will know it. I just picture us tomorrow and it's like the basement's broken, the foundation's crumbling. So keep your fingers crossed, and follow us on Twitter, follow us anywhere you get a podcast, and we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.
Peace.